Apparently now. Okay, we are live. So we have a little chat before that. There, no one's gonna be paying attention these first few minutes until they see go live. So you still a GM for the team then?
Nope. I've been done with that. I do marketing for a bank now. I'm boring now.
You got to pay the bills. I know that one.
Oh yeah. Pay the bills, get the benefits. That's a big deal. So no, I loved it though. It was a blast. But yeah, I just felt we actually played our whole pandemic season in the league.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we were able to do that. It was very stressful. So I was just like, I need a break. I need a break. So I went into the banking world, and it's not too bad. It's a change of pace, but now I get to relax. Baseball season's here. I'm just kind of hanging out now. I feel like I'm retired.
So do you still go pop down and watch the games then? Kind of say hi to the guys, or is it enough people kind of circle through that you're not gonna have a chance to do that?
Yeah, I haven't done that. Nope. But I'm sure sometime along the summer I will.
I can relate. So I used to run baseball here in Scotland for many years, and I retired 4 years ago. And every once in a while, I kind of pop on down and go, "I'm back." I just had a joke. I just come back and say hi to everyone to see how they're doing. But yeah, that draw of going down there and saying hi to everyone and see how it's going. It's yeah. I keep going. But the level of baseball here is completely different than it was that you guys are playing at.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's so cool to have baseball out there. Like, you don't hear about it much. So when I heard about your podcast and everything like that, I was like, oh wow, like those are some baseball fans. They that's pretty cool. I think it's awesome getting some baseball out there.
I mean, it's small. I mean, it's a lot of it's expats, and then you get a lot of guys who literally show up and go, I've just been in New York, Boston, Toronto, and I have a glove and they'll have it on the wrong hand. Like, I got a left hand. I'm right-handed. I need a right-handed glove. And you go, no, it doesn't work that way. But yeah, when you're out here, you're passionate. Like, there's a lot of people up now watching games because game times start late for us. So, we look forward to Thursdays and the weekends. So we actually get a 6:00 game for us. And it's fantastic.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, so when you meet the people, you can't just be casual about it because you're just a big fan. So you have to kind of just go, all right, you kind of all bond together on Twitter and chat through the games that way. So you can kind of there's a few other fans here and there.
That is so cool though. Like, European baseball culture has always been like interesting to me because not a lot of guys come from there. Like, I can probably name one off the top of my head, and that's Max Kepler from Germany.
Yeah, that's about it. And he's half American, so.
Yeah, but he's good. But yeah, it's crazy. I know that when I did an internship in the Indians organization, we did have a guy from the Czech Republic, which I thought was interesting.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to think if I knew who that might have been. There's been a few guys throughout the years. So there was Alex Liddy from Italy, who was with the Mariners. There was, I think, Robert Vanderhosen, who actually pitched for the Orioles, because he's like 6'7" and a lefty, so he can pitch. Robert Einhosen. Yeah, there's a few. So it's occasionally here. So when you leave Britain and you go to the mainland, it's much bigger over that way. So so you hit Germany, Italy, France is usually pretty good. Netherlands, those are usually the top teams that they go there, and they actually get paid talent. Like Germany has 7 tiers of leagues, and I've met one of their coaches, and they have a TV deal. They have like 100,000 budget to actually get people over from the States to play for them. So it's completely different from what we're doing.
Yeah. It's neat to see. And that's why I like the World Baseball Classic so much, is because you get countries that you wouldn't normally get to watch play baseball. So they need to get the next one scheduled. I enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, we've got the European Baseball League possibly starting up. So it's a new thing. It's spearheaded by Luis Sojo, who played for the Yankees and the Mariners.
Yeah.
So he's the president. So he's one of them there. And there's teams in Spain, France. We have one in the UK, but they're based in Spain for the year for COVID restrictions because no one's flying in and out. There's 2 in Spain and Italy. I think there's 6 teams. Most of the guys are Dominican. So, but I think the idea is to get the best players over now and then inspire people to get more involved there. So if there's actually teams to play and watch, they'll be there. So we're all kind of watching to see if it goes through or not. they picked a really weird location in the UK to play, which isn't really accessible to many people. But oh well.
No, hopefully it gets something sparked over there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be. So you said you were an intern with the Indians. Tell me about that. That's amazing.
Well, not the Indians necessarily. It was one of their minor league affiliates.
Okay.
So I was in short season A. I was a marketing and promotions intern when I was there, and we had some cool players come through when I was there. Willie Castro, who's now with the Tigers, was there. Anthony Santander, who I heard he's really big in the UK.
I'll tell you the story behind them. Yeah, he is. So what happened? There was a Cub Scout troop that. Oh, did we lose you? There you go. Well, a Cub Scout troop that visited Baltimore, and they were set in the outfield section behind him. And apparently, he made some amazing play, and they all started chanting his name, and they just became a fan of him because he was just playing hard. And I think there was like something like 150 British Cub Scouts that were in the stands that day, and they just kind of adopted him as their favorite player. So he's become a kind of a legend in British Oriole fans. Everyone likes Anthony Santander.
So we had him, Castro, Mark Mathias, who's with the Brewers, Sam Haggerty with the Mariners, and then Kai Tom, who's now with the Pirates. And then that wraps up pretty much everyone we had on the team. But yeah, I pretty much got to do day-to-day operations and set up for all the on-field games and the marketing part of going around the Youngstown area and getting people excited and everything like that. It was an awesome experience. And then I got to go to some of the other Indians affiliates like the Akron Rubber Ducks and Lake County Captains, see how they did things. And it was truly just a cool experience to get to experience all of that stuff and get to work in baseball every day when I was a 21-year-old college student, especially when, we got to see some big names come through. I know that we played against guys like Andrew Benintendi and stuff. And yeah, it was really, really neat. And that I was a baseball fan before. I was hoping to work in sport, and that really solidified that I wanted to work in baseball.
That's amazing. So how was their talent level compared to everyone else? So you get both audience here. So a UK always don't know when you see someone that's so talented on the field. Could you see it right off the bat with some of the players you've named?
Yeah. So Santander only played like 3 games for us, and then he got called up to High A Lynchburg. And then we had Castro, who was there all year, but at the time, Willie Castro was just freshly 18. And he emerged as a big star. Mark Mathias was a 2nd-round pick, so he was kind of considered to be a future big star and things like that. And then like Haggerty, you didn't necessarily notice it, but he worked his way to the majors. And Kai Tom was a 4th-round pick, so it was kind of expected that he'd be making it up there. But they were our best players at the time, but some guys lit the league on fire. Others didn't necessarily do it that year, but they were also young. Short season A is like the young guys, the guys who just been drafted, the guys who are getting their first chance at playing outside of complex leagues since they've come over from the Dominican. So a lot of fresh guys, and it's pretty cool. And then the year after I was there, like Shane Bieber was there, Tristan McKenzie, and things like that. So yeah, it's cool. They have a cool list of alumni, but yeah, sometimes you're like, okay, that guy's going to go far. Willie Castro, he looks good. But other guys, sometimes you're like, okay, he might do it. It just all depends. And some guys are late bloomers, some guys are early bloomers. It's pretty cool though, just to be around all of it.
I got a couple of questions about that. First of all, I think Dr. Sticks is probably the coolest nickname I've heard in a while. I can only imagine him as the 18-year-old, because he's like 6'5" and 165 now. He's had to put on weight since then.
Oh, he's going to have to put on more, but man, that guy can throw. And I just absolutely love watching. I love watching him pitch.
That's amazing. And then I say a lot of those guys there, you see, they come from the Dominican Republic and said, you're in South Dakota. Is there anywhere for those guys to go to eat?
Oh yeah. So actually what's funny is, that when I was with the Indians team, it was in Ohio, but actually in summer ball, we did have some Dominican guys come in, and they're kind of picky on what they eat. Like they see Mexican restaurants and you think, okay, that's close to what you'd probably eat. No, no, it's not authentic. It's not what they want. They actually really like fast food. You can give them McDonald's, they'll eat it, pizza, burgers, all that stuff. So yeah, they liked American food and everything, but when it came to like what we perceive as Hispanic food, they didn't want to touch it.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, there can't be a whole lot of choice out your way. I know there's not a whole lot of choice out my way, so
right, yeah.
Cool. All right. So Jackson Bruce is on with us here. We're obviously talking Jason from Ball Caps and Bagpipes. I screw that up every time there. We're talking the Negro League Baseball Museum Art fundraiser here. And now we've got a little background here. Let's talk about your card here. I'm going to pull up your card. Let's see here. And let's see. So that's going to work here. Let's see if it's going to work. And let's walk us through your card here, because I really like your card. You've got a lot of bit of touches in here. But yeah, let's walk us through your card. Tell us about it. And yeah, I'm excited to hear you. When I first saw it, I was really excited to see what you've done with it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I worked really hard on this. So the way it all started, I really wanted to really paint a story is what I wanted to do. I really wanted to show a story on my baseball card. So the way I did it was, it actually started with the inclusion and equality on his pants. I wanted a little subtle something like that. But then I started to really think and do a little research on the Negro Leagues and Josh Gibson himself. And the fact that he wasn't able to get into the majors was such a travesty, but he was able to bridge a big gap. So I noticed that the civil rights movement integration was actually, baseball had a big part in integration, obviously Jackie Robinson, Larry Doby, and such. But Frederick Douglass, I put him on, obviously a big abolitionist in American history. But he also, his sons owned and played for a couple of teams in Washington, D.C. So I felt like, that helps the civil rights movement, but also showed that, these guys can own these businesses. And he just had such a big part in American history, along with Martin Luther King Jr. He is the face of civil rights movement. So I kind of put that to the left, along with, I did have the colored only sign on the left, because to me that it kind of goes as a timeline where that was Josh Gibson's day. Mm-hmm. There was segregation and he had to battle through that. And then Josh himself is the bridge in the middle that then connects our integrated baseball, integrated society with the civil rights bill going into law, the newspaper headline, along with power hitters, because Josh Gibson was a power hitter. I included Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, who are two of the greatest power hitters in baseball history. So I really wanted it to bridge that gap. And then also I love the quote about him being in scoring position every time he's at the plate. I just think, man, Josh Gibson's got confidence. He's got swag. Like, people need to know that, because the Negro Leagues, like, these guys knew they were good. Mm-hmm. And they had that confidence. The only thing they weren't allowed to do was actually play at the Major League Baseball level, but they knew they were good enough. And I thought that was the perfect quote to show, like, Josh Gibson wasn't messing around. He knew how good he was. He just knew his circumstances weren't there. But yeah, the main thing I really wanted to show was like how baseball was able to bridge that gap and be able to help integrate on a national level what was a whole white entity, and they helped push along the movement, because like Jackie Robinson is well known, and because of his being the first person to be integrated into Major League Baseball. And I think that that's just so important, because baseball was the sport at the time that everybody paid attention to, and him coming in and all the people before him who didn't get that chance did help push that along. And I think that is a very important part of American history.
I said, like, I'm really glad I get to hear you talk about your card here, because I think at first I looked like, oh, that's really cool. I see how you've done it now, and the whole bridge between it now. This is amazing. I really like your card. This is so cool.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, no, that's I'm because that's the thing, we were hoping to have everyone come on and talk about their card, because everyone's got something that inspired them to do their card there. I said, obviously you come from the graphic design background, and I understand you're a self-taught graphic designer.
Yeah, so actually my time with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers when I was in Ohio, I was bored, and they're like, you can learn how to do Photoshop. So I was like, okay. So I learned how to do that, and ever since then I've just liked to play around with it. And then it got to the point where I started using other different softwares and things, and now I've kind of got my own style that I like to use, and everything about it is just playing around with stuff. And that's what I truly learned, was just play around with it and make yourself good at it. And so yeah, being self-taught, I've never taken like a graphic design class in my life. I just have clicked around, tried new things, and ended up with a style that I'm really proud of.
I really like your cards there. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can pull up some more of your cards here while we have the chance. We can do this there. And everyone can find you at Ice Cat Cards. I'm assuming this is works for both Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Let's see. I'll pull up your Ricky card because I like Ricky Henderson there.
I'm a huge Ricky fan.
A big Ricky fan. Okay.
Yes.
So you've got City of Oakland. They always got the tree there. So do you think Oakland's going to move? I'll ask you that one while we're at it here.
Oh, it gets bluffed all the time. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope they can, because Oakland is losing all their teams. The Raiders, the Warriors. They can't lose the A's. I mean, so I think Ricky Henderson could run for mayor of Oakland. Yeah. And it's like, you can't leave a guy who grew up in Oakland. You can't take the team away, and the A's have such a rich history, not only in Oakland, but Kansas City and Philadelphia, and the Oakland fans love them. They just need to get that stadium done. I don't think they move, but we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me. I didn't think the Raiders would move either, and now they're gone. So.
Yeah, I can understand. Like, I'm from Seattle originally, so when my Sonics left, it killed me. So I really don't want to see Oakland go anywhere there. But I know what you mean. Like I've been to Oakland Coliseum or Oco or whatever it's called these days.
Oh yeah, they got a new name for it all the time.
Oracle Stadium, I think the last one I can remember. I don't even know. I think they need a new stadium, but they need to stay. Like I said, there's definitely there's room for now. There's no basketball station now. They just tear that thing down and put in a basketball station. So how did you become a Ricky fan? Is there any reason behind? Let's see. Here's your Jacob DeGrom card.
Yeah. So actually, I'm a big Boston Red Sox fan.
Right.
And so I went to a Minnesota Twins Red Sox game when I was a kid, and I recognized who Ricky Henderson was from my baseball cards. And he was playing for the Red Sox at the time. And I was down by the rail, and he actually signed an autograph for me.
Oh, amazing.
And it was the first time I ever got an autograph ever in my life. And I knew how good he was. And and that day, just to solidify it after that, he hit a home run and stole a base in classic Ricky Henderson style. So ever since then, like, that was probably one of the last glimpses, because that was his second to last year in the league. So that's like one of the last glimpses people got to see of vintage Ricky. And it was really cool. So me being how old was I? I was 9 years old. I was like, wow, this is the guy. And he's no joke. I know he's old, but like the things he did before, and just his personality, as I've gotten older, I've really gotten to appreciate his personality and how confident he was. As you can tell, I love the confidence and the swag that guys have, and Ricky Henderson is the definition of confidence and swag. So that's why I just really like him. And it all started because he signed an autograph for me.
That's amazing. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I grew up as a McGuire fan, so I got a good thing of Ricky there, and his swag was off the charts.
Yes, I love it. It is so awesome.
Yeah, you don't get those personalities, but everyone's kind of bland these days. So you don't have everyone like Ricky anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm looking at your Yelich card here, and I'm assuming the Yelich picture is obviously one you've cut out. Did you design the back of that there?
Yep, I designed the back of that, and I was able to kind of coordinate it with the card and kind of make it like a downtown type style. And then I had some materials where I could kind of make it sparkly looking, a little more aesthetically pleasing. And so, yeah, I designed that. And that was one of the first cards I was able to combine my graphic skills with with cutting out a card, which I thought was kind of a different touch.
It's really cool. I'm really enjoying your cards here. I'll have to admit, I haven't been paying attention to the card art lately because I've been busy myself. But you've not been doing this long. You're fairly new to the game.
Yeah, I'm fairly new. Like, I've dabbled in doing it like online through graphic design, but I've never really done the cutting out. So I actually just started doing that, and that's a really fun deal because I've always seen people do it, like Mr. Shake and guys like that. I'm like, wow, I wonder how hard that is, And so I tried it. The first time it was so bad. It was really bad. But I started to like really concentrate on what I was doing, and you can make things look really clean. So that's actually a big challenge. Like, because I've never done that before. I thought that was harder, especially when you're cutting stuff out. Sometimes when you're doing graphic design, you kind of feel like you're cheating because you can make anything you want. When it comes to like card art, when you're cutting and adding different backgrounds and stuff to it, that like you're limited to what you can do. So you really need to try to make it look good. And so like everybody who, does the cutting and the different styles and stuff like that, I just have so much respect for it because they have very creative minds and they see cards that go together and all that stuff. So I think that is just so cool.
Yeah, I've done some cards myself, and my first ones were so bad. So I understand what you're going for, and it's like there. Let's see, we got your Ricky there. So you're running. You've got. I'm trying to figure out. Is it on Twitter? You're running the competition there, or not competition, but you're doing the through the Out the Years series.
Yeah. Yep. I just talked about that today. Actually, I'm really, really, really excited about that. So essentially, what I did was looked up kind of who the best player was from each year according to when they were born, like starting in 1951 going all the way to 2003, and using the top style from that year. And so like my first one is Dave Winfield on the 1951 tops, and it's such a wide range. Some of them are just like all-time greats, like Greg Maddux and Dave Winfield, Randy Johnson. And then you get some years where it's like, okay, I got Fred Lynn, Lance Berkman, guys that aren't going to be Hall of Famers, but it's still interesting to kind of see, because there's some years that it's just crazy. It's hard to pick one.
Right.
1963 is really hard. I picked Randy Johnson, but I could have picked like McGuire. I picked Bonds for 1964. I did 1988 was a hard one too, because it's Clayton Kershaw and Jacob deGrom both.
Wow. Yeah.
And so like, and then there's some where it's just completely obvious, like Fred Lynn in 1952 and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was a fun challenge because it's guys that I probably wouldn't have ever thought of. Jimmy Rollins in 1978, I would have never thought to make a Jimmy Rollins card. Mm-hmm. Well, now I have. So it kind of opened my horizons a little bit, and I got to see. And then of course, once you get into the late 90s, it kind of becomes obvious where it's Acuna, Soto, Devers, Tatis, but yeah, it's very interesting to kind of see year by year who was born and who might be the best born that year. I don't think too many people think about that.
Yep, I'm pulling it up now. See if we can find it. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Oops. There you go. There we go. Here's your set here. We can pull it up there so people can actually see it when we talk about it. There we go. But yes, so it's Whoops, there you go. I killed the volume.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yep, and then it's got the checklist at the end so you can see everybody. Yeah, there it is.
That's amazing. Cool.
So yeah,
right.
There's some big time names on there, and then there's some guys where they're big time names at the time, but they're not Hall of Famers necessarily. But it's kind of cool.
That is really cool. I was looking at that before we got on the interview, and I was like, "That's amazing. I can't believe anyone's not done that idea other than Top Steam Project 70." But I think your idea is much better.
Yeah, it's fun. I've had a lot of fun doing that, and some of the designs are pretty challenging. But I've noticed, like with my style, that the older cards look cooler just because of the simpler design, and I can kind of give it a little pizzazz.
So, are you much of a card collector then?
Yeah, I am a card collector. That's where it all started. I have a pretty good card collection, and I enjoy that aspect of it a lot.
So are you like a junk era guy? You a modern guy? You following Project 2020 or Project 70?
So I followed a little bit of Project 2020, picked up a few rookies. I'm going to be working on the Project 70, all the Red Sox is my goal there. I just love seeing the different styles that people have and everything like that. And but mostly I collect Ricky Henderson, Willie Castro because of his time with the Scrappers. And I do a little bit of basketball. I like Jason Kidd and guys like that. I like my early 2000s basketball.
Right.
A big Packer fan, so Aaron Rodgers. And then if I pick up some cool rookies, I like to keep those too. But yeah, mostly it's Ricky Henderson, Willie Castro, and David Ortiz. That's who I collect.
Yeah, and David Ortiz came out today, so that's a nice one to pick up.
Yes, I saw it, and it was awesome. It was a cool card.
Yeah, distorted cards are really cool. So the Pedro was a really fun one. Now we've got Poppy coming out there. You said you're a Packers fan. Is Rodgers going or what? What's the story with Rodgers?
Oh man, I hear this all the time from my friends. I would love Aaron Rodgers to come back to the Green Bay Packers. He is my all-time favorite football player. I love Brett Favre, but Aaron Rodgers, just everything he does is just so smooth, and I think he just gets such a bad rap for being selfish, but he's not. And I really hope that Packers management and him can patch it up. I think it's going to come down to the nitty gritty. We'll see if he's hosting Jeopardy or not, but I'm crossing my fingers. I just have so much fun watching him, and it's been so much fun since he became the starter back in 2008. So yeah, I'm really crossing my fingers, but I can't tell you if he's going to come back or not.
I'm hoping more than I am. We kind of get everything kind of late over here. People are fans of football more than baseball, so I always kind of get everything kind of secondhand, so I don't get it there. But it does not sound like things are going well for the team at the moment.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Cross my fingers.
I mean, I'm a Seahawks fan, so I'm just glad that all the stuff about Russell Wilson around the Super Bowl has been forgotten because it's all about Aaron Rodgers right now.
Well, I think with Russell, it was like, all right, so you might get traded we can trade you to the Bears. And he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna stick around here.
Yeah, I know. Russell causes his own problems there, so I'm not going to go into my Russell Wilson problems. So, but cool. All right, we're coming up on the end of the show here, so I don't want to take any more of your time up. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, and yeah, you can. We started up Instagram not too long ago. Go check out the different things that we got going on. It's just, mostly collection stuff, but it's really turned towards the card art aspect. So if you go follow, it's Ice Cat Cards on both sites. You can find me there, and yeah, that's what I got. Social media presence. Try to make it as fun as possible, and the card art community is great. They will promote you, and it's just a fun community to be around, to see all the creative minds that make up the card art community. So yeah, Ice Cat Cards on both of them. Go check it out.
Are we going to see a hype video? So Heavy J's done a hype video for his last week. You voting started now, so you still have time to do a hype video for yourself.
All right. Well, I should have thought about that because I worked on the hype video for my new project. I should have worked on one for my card.
Yeah, Heavy J always threatens to sing if he doesn't do that. He did a rap last year, so it was pretty funny.
Yeah. No, I'm grassroots. I'm texting my friends, letting them know, and I'm a door-to-door salesman kind of guy.
Right. Okay. Well, best of luck in the competition. I think the voting results come out Sunday night, Monday morning. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to check with the guys there. But best of luck. I love your card. You did a great job with it. And if you stick around, we'll chat it as soon as I close the stream here. So, all right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. We got no one else lined up. And hopefully next week we'll have all 6 artists on, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Take care.
Yep. Thank you.